All right, so I'm going to show you how the new Space Empires Vassal module works. I'm going to start up a new game. I've got it, the editor open. It will look a little bit different to a new user. First, you select a side. Currently, all sides are available. If you select tan or orange, it's not going to give you functionality. I'll explain why in just a moment. Select your side, hit next. Now, there are multiple board options. You have the Space Empires board, which is what you'd expect, but there's also the Talon board and the Talon half board. The reason for that is if you want to play like a super epic version, you can add column, and you can put the Talon board on one side and the Talon half board on the other side, and it'll join these into one enormous play surface. But we're just going to load up the Space Empires board. Finish. Voila, there you go. We can make this fit the width of the screen so you can see the whole map. There you go. It's all there. There's no markers pre-positioned on the map. To find the markers for the map, you'll hit markers. Expand the tray to show the different pieces. In the markers tray, you have markers, which have then a subcategory of common markers, which is where you find the turn marker here. You can get multiples of those, so you can put one to follow the sequence of play if you so desire. Basically, you can create an infinity of these up here by just dragging them onto the map. Then there are markers for the individual factions. So blue, green, yellow, red, all of them have their own markers in here. I'm honestly not sure what all of these are for, but here they are. They're in the module. The test window is exactly what it sounds like. It is a test bed for now, but if you want to delineate borders for your scenario, these markers here, you can create an infinity of these. You can do a Control-C and drag them around, and basically you can draw like little map borders. You can rotate these things. There's half-size ones. Basically, you can draw a border around the selected play area if you so desire, and then you can also delete these things. So that's the function of these pieces. These other things, these are just things I was experimenting with. I've left it in the module for the time being. Production sheet. These are the markers you're going to use on your production sheet, so let me show you how that works. I'm signed in as solo, so I have access to everything in the module, but if you were signed in as blue, only the blue player would be able to access this window. This is your inventory of game pieces here. If you scroll to the right, you then have the log sheet for the blue faction. It's all just kind of built into one. Now, how do you use this? Well, it's going to integrate with these markers here. You can use any of these colors, but you can take these little circles and you can zoom in here. I'll just zoom in so it's a little bit easier to see. But say I want to get flagship 1, it has attack level 1. I can just highlight it, scroll away, and there you go. It's marked. You can adjust it by moving it up, down, delete, clone. You can basically just use these all over this log sheet like you would a marker or dry erase marker. You can use it on this log sheet. Now, what about text? Well, that's where this is going to come into play. This marker here is a generic text marker. Drag it on the map, right-click, and choose to change text, or even easier, just select it, hit the return key on your keyboard, and you can put in your own text. This will not do math for you. You will have to math this yourself, but that allows for the flexibility if you can make the module do more things. It's not going to be constrained by programming, so it makes it more of a sandbox experience. So you just do a Control-C, drag away, and you can make basically an infinity of these things. And yeah, basically you can use this to fill out your own log sheet. And say you want to use this is the no facilities log sheet. If you want to use facilities, click this marker up here, and basically it changes. You may have to, this is where we're going to need some testing. I don't know, is the text too big for the other log sheet? We'll find out. But basically there is your options for using facilities, no facilities. It's all kind of built into the module itself. Now, when you drag pieces, let's drag a colony onto the map and the shipyard onto the map. When you drag a colony onto the map, it doesn't like flip over or anything. It's going to be, because colonies are open information. Shipyard, it flipped over to its masked side. Now, whoever drags it on the map, you're going to be able to see the contents by just hovering your mouse. You'll see what it is. But basically, everyone else would only see the backside of that game piece. Backside only. They won't see how many numbered counters are stacked with it. Only you, the player, will know that. Now, if you choose to go to retire and become another player, that's not going to change any of this. Vassal, remember that you are using your computer to access that unit. It's not going to change a thing. Vassal will not work the way that you want it to work there. So you can't hide pieces from yourself. I have not built the module for you to do that at this time. So this is basically for a multiplayer experience at the moment. At any rate, there you go. The piece is face down to all your opponents. To reveal the piece, just right click and just, there you go. Or I think it's a Control-Shift-R will reveal it. Let's see, flip face down, or Control-F will do it as well. You can also right click on a unit and a Control-Shift-R I think will reveal all pieces regardless of who's the owner of that piece. So that's how you can reveal other pieces. Pieces belonging to other players, you can reveal them with that functionality. I really should make a toolbar button for that, but at the moment it's pretty loosey-goosey. The idea there is if you have masked a game piece, you can't normally unmask your opponent's pieces. The reveal, the reveal option is there to make that a little bit more streamlined. So that's what's going on with that. Now, if you're on a Mac, because the menu is so big, it may just, you have to hold down your right mouse button to keep this menu up and keep it from selecting wherever the mouse was when it popped up. It's just because of how Vassal works on a map. If you go to the property sheet, there is a property sheet for all of these ships, and this cannot be I can't pre-program this with data. You're going to have to do this yourself when you play the game. To set the max value of a given field, you right click next to the field and say, I think the attack value goes up to 3 or something like that. Defense tech up to 3, and other tech value, let's say up to 3. I don't know if that's actually true. Let's see here. Attack, defense. Well, it depends on the unit, I suppose. I'm not an experienced player of this game, so I'm not exactly sure. But it looks like other tech value could go up, say, up to 3 or whatever. At any rate, what this does is allows it so you could just then right-click or left-click, on the tick boxes to enter that data. Or you can just go into the text box field and change the data. You could turn the move to whatever you want, experience, elite. You can put in whatever. This is a little bit more, adds a little more flexibility. But this data would only then be applied to this particular game piece. So if I right click on here and I tell it to build a scout, it'll drag a scout from my available pieces. It'll offset it a little bit so that my shipyard is still somewhat uncovered. And if I just do a return on him, you'll see that the blue scout doesn't have any of that data. The data for the shipyard 1 is exactly as we had it before. So it's just a way for you to, in addition to the log sheet, you can have it that data applied directly to the game counter itself. Now, to change the numbers, you can change the number of ships, or in the case of shipyards, it's the number of shipyards. It increases the numeric value, so you don't have to stack game pieces. This is a layer built onto the piece, and again, your opponent, when the piece is masked, will not see that information. Damage is also shown as a layer. To get rid of that, you do a combat reset, and it'll get rid of all of the damage layers to the game piece. The rest of this should be pretty self-explanatory. I just made it possible for you to build pieces from the shipyard a little bit easier than maybe you otherwise would be able to. So you don't have to open up your window. Whoops, wrong one. You don't have to open up your window and drag and drop, although you certainly can, and maybe that's easier for you. It depends. So it just adds a little more flexibility to the module. Colonies have limited ability until you establish a colony, which basically flips the game piece, puts a layer on it, shows the colony value of 1, You increase the value of the colony, brings it up to 3. You increase it again, brings it up to 5, and now it's a full colony. Colonies allow you to build decoys, shipyards, bases, star bases, defense satellite, infantry, all your ground units, etc. So all of that can be generated from there. The shipyards is going to basically build your ships and things that I believe only a shipyard piece can build. So that's how your game pieces are going to work. The exploration tokens. Now the setup can be a little bit of a project, so let me explain. Open up the exploration counters window, and you'll see there is a box here. Don't do anything with it. That is part of the reveal game pieces mechanism. Basically, not to show you too much about how the sausage is made, but what happens is when you click on a piece and tell it to reveal, what it does is it sends that game piece to this window here and then bounces it right back where it came from. And this is basically a draw random cards deck. So it functions just like a deck, except it's set to draw all pieces face up. So it forces a relinquishing of ownership of that masked game piece. It's a way to circumvent the unmasking of a game piece. Normally you can't just unmask your opponent's game piece, but you could send it to a deck, and that deck could then unmask the game piece. That's basically the mechanism I'm using there, so that you understand the process anyways. All right, these are all green pieces, so let's just go ahead and send them back to available stock. Let's open up green, and we'll get some stuff going here, because we're kind of in the green area of the board. We'll build a shipyard here. We'll just get things going. Reveal. Let's just flip that over so it's all open information. All right, so there's our planet. Now we need to set up some exploration tokens. So all you got to do is start with 1. Now if you start with 1, you right click on it and you can choose to draw multiple exploration counters from that deck. Let's say I want to draw all the rest of them. I can say, give me, what, 15 of them? I think is all of them. Almost all of them. Maybe there's more than that, 25. Maybe it's 25. And then I can just scatter them around. I just dragged them all randomly from that deck, and it put them off to the right of the game piece that I was drawing from. And this just makes the game setup super, super easy without me having to pre-position things, and allows for the system to maintain its sandbox flexibility. All right, so I need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Let's do 9 more. That should empty that deck. Boom, boom, boom. There, and that's basically how this is going to work. Same thing for deep space. Once you drag one marker onto the board, you can then use that marker to generate more, so you don't have to just keep dragging from this window. Although if you find that to be more convenient, knock yourself out. I think the other shortcut is draw exploration. So Control D will draw another counter. It's just 1. Or you do a return key. So that'll just give you 1. Boom. To me, that's actually pretty easy. Just bam, like that. I'm just doing a Control D on it, and that just scatters them around. So that's basically how you'd set the game up. And then, of course, to reveal it, you're going to have to use that reveal function because your opponent may have set some things up. So this, again, allows you to circumvent the masking so that pieces can get revealed. So, boom. All kinds of cool stuff is going to show up. Man, lots of minerals near your planet here. Ah, there's another planet. So that basically is how this will work. Now it is not set up to use the Doomsday machines are intentionally kept out of this deck. You can put them in there if you want. I think there's a total of 100 tokens in here, so I have all the expansions pieces included in here. I don't have a way for you to use the variant pieces. So the ones that are tagged with a V notation, the module is not currently set up to use those. So that's coming, but we're not there yet. Okay, so the module is going to have some limitations at present. That's one of them. The exploration variation from, I think it's All Good Things included that. That's not included in the module at present. Also, you'll notice that we have blue, we have green, we have red, we have yellow factions, but we do not have purple or tan or orange. So no replicators yet. Aliens are in here. It's a random pull onto the deck, and immediately it reveals it. Hopefully that'll work for players. Battle display is here. I don't have a mechanism built in to send things here because I don't know if players are actually going to need to use this thing or not. Maybe I will insert that. Maybe I'll include that just so that it's in the module before I make this widely available. Maybe I'll make a right click to send to the battle window. In the markers, in the common markers, there is a battle token, so you can use that to, you know, mark where the battle is taking place. There are no hexagonal planet counters, but you can see from my test bed here, it is something we are working on. I'm not there yet. This module is why I don't have a social life, okay, folks? So just bear with me. There's a lot of crap in this game, okay? There's just a lot of stuff. I'm trying to get all of the main things working, and then I'll bring in some of the additional things that, you know, it's more for extra flavor. We'll insert that later. This was just to kind of see how I would go about that. Rolling dice, super simple. I don't have a dice tray or anything fancy schmancy. Dice aren't going to show up in the toolbar up here. They're going to show up in the comments. You tell it how many dice to throw. Say I want to throw 4 dice. Don't want to add anything or add to the overall total. Hit OK, and it just threw 10-sided dice there. So your charts basically just have a ship chart, the alternate empire ship chart, which is here, but the alternate empires aren't yet. So we're getting there. Research, same thing, alt empires, exploration tokens. I've also made the charts. This is something I started doing. I made the charts so you can zoom in on them if the text is too small, or, you know, you own the game, so get the chart out. If it's just, to me, I think the charts are easier to read, the physical chart, than to mess around with windows. But I understand if you're on the go, you may want an electronic version, but that's what I have so far. The print's pretty small in the print version, so when I made them 150 DPI, the text is still a little small on my screen. Your mileage may vary. It depends on how you've set up your screen, but there you go. At least there is a zoom function. There are no cards yet. There are no replicators, no tan or orange factions, and no cards yet. So all that stuff is coming. What I want to do now is I want to just kind of test the modules, test its functionality, see how things are working before we add more. My intention here is to keep the automation minimal because it was the overwrought automation that led to the version that is currently available on Vassal is not playable because you had to use it with one particular version of the software, which is not current. So in order to use the module, you have to use that exact version, and you can go through, I think, the archive and still recover that version, but then you got to maintain 2 different versions of Vassal on your machine. It's a pain in the butt. Nobody likes that. So I'm trying to keep this flexible so it can grow with Vassal, strike a balance between playability and flexibility. The game is a sandbox game, so let's keep it so that you can, have the sandbox experience and not be constrained by the programming. Hopefully we're achieving that, but I'm going to go ahead and start to make this available within a playtest group. If you're watching this video, obviously you've decided to take a look at it. Just let me know what do we need to do to make this more usable. If it's great right now, I'll start adding in those other factions. It is a bit of work to add in all the game pieces for each faction. Entails a considerable amount of work. There's a lot of game pieces that go into this, and then putting these windows together, there is a bit of a process to that. So a bit of an all-day job, if you want to know. It's a bit of work. So I'd like to get everything working with these factions, and then I'll add in the other stuff. And just let me know what you think it needs, and we'll go from there. Thanks a lot.